the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline throughout the morning. And the other big story that has been following is the NFL Draft, round one of the NFL Draft going on. And I did not pay attention. I was sound asleep by 6:30 last night. I did not even pay attention. I woke up this morning to find out, though, that my alma mater did make a little bit of history last night.
Yep.
And for the first time ever, this is what's so good about it. For the first time ever, Northern Iowa produced a first-round draft pick, and Trevor Penning goes 19th to the New Orleans Saints. So first time ever. So I feel good for my alma mater, considering that they have had plenty of talent come through there, just never a first-round draft pick. So I'm excited by that. The suspense is over, though. Trayvon Walker goes number one to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I guess no surprise there. That's kind of what we thought would happen. Did Jacksonville take Trayvon Walker?
Yeah, we thought they might blow it, and they did. And I don't think it was a very solid decision. Well, it might be in the future, but when you grade it, I would give it a D. I think they blew the opportunity. If you're going to take a pass rusher, you take Aiden Hutchinson. He's a better player than Walker. Walker, you see. I got into a debate on Twitter with someone who kept telling me that, when you have the number one overall pick, you take it for upside. No. You take the best player. Upside gets you fired if you don't get it out of said player. And here's my thing. Trayvon Walker had 9.5 sacks in 3 years. I'll give it to Clint Lamb of Alabama on 3. Last year in a 4-game stretch, Will Anderson had 9.5 himself. And before everybody tells me, well, they had 5 first-round draft picks, that's part of the problem. This dude played with a ton of studs, and he didn't make a ton of plays. So with all that talent around him, he should have been able, with a 4.5, 140 and all this freakish athleticism.
Yeah, that's where he drew the attention, was at the combine when he ran the 40. He did all that stuff.
They never learned this stuff. Mike Mamula couldn't play either. Yeah, he ran fast and he jumped high, and he made no plays. And coaches and scouts got fired because he stunk. And this guy will probably be the same way. You've got a chance to take a tackle, Ikem Nwanku, or Evan Neal, and set your offensive line up, and then you don't. You end up taking a pass rusher who's not even the best pass rusher in the draft, number one overall, because you like the way he worked out in underwear. That's why the Jacksonville Jaguars suck every year. They suck every year because they don't know how to handle the draft at all.
Aiden Hutchinson goes 2 to the Detroit Lions. Derek Stingley Jr. goes 3 to the Texans. Sauce Gardner goes 4 to the Jets. And Kayvon Thibodeau goes number 5 to the Giants. So if you're thinking, man, that's a lot of defensive players, well, you are correct. This year's draft marked the second time since 1967 that each of the first 5 selections were from the defensive side of the ball. Joining the 1991 draft, had an NFL record 6 players selected in the draft. And with Stingley and Gardner going 3 and 4, it marks the first time since 1997's draft, when we saw Sean Springs and Bryant Westbrook, that 2 defensive backs were selected among the top 5 picks.
Well, and at least those 2 guys were good players. And I'll say this, and I said it yesterday. If I were going to go a defensive player in the draft and I was going to go number 1 overall, I wouldn't even have drafted Hutchinson number 1. I would have drafted Sauce Gardner. Guy gave up nothing. 0 at Cincinnati, okay? And, when he played against Alabama, he gave up nothing, okay? His whole career, he gave up 0. And I know, again, he played in the AAC. He didn't play in the, in the American. He played in the American Athletic Conference. He didn't play in the SEC or the Big 12 or something like that. Still, I would have taken Sauce Gardner, number 1 overall. It would have been history because I don't think a corner's ever done that. But I would have taken him number 1 overall. Now, what I would have really done is taken Evan Neal, and Neal ended up going 7th to the New York Football Giants. But again, you could make a case, for Sauce Gardner, in my opinion, because of how good a player he is. Akeem, Iquanu from NC State. Guy went 6th right before Evan Neal. And that really what that did was that started that run, because I still thought, and I was right about that all the tackles would go in the top 10, those top 3.
Right.
Certainly Charles Cross at Mississippi State went to Seattle. I thought that was a sound pick by them, and they don't have a quarterback. They're hashed out yet. I mean, it could be Drew Lock. They may make a trade for Baker Mayfield later on down the line, but again, they're trying to strengthen their O-line, and I thought that was a sound draft pick for right then. But again, I just thought overall, when you think about the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans, I didn't think either one of them made sound draft choices. Even though I will say for Houston, in Houston's defense, this is a big if Derek Stingley can stay out of the training room,
right,
and stay healthy, he could be a big-time talent. My only thing about him is he hasn't done anything for 2 years, and it's that old you can't make the club in the tub, the Shea Cotton thing. But if he can get healthy, he could be a big – I can see his upside. Right. Trayvon Walker's, I don't care. The guy stayed healthy. The guy made no plays. I mean, comparatively to his teammates. And so I'm really skeptical of that. Now, I could have seen Walker going somewhere, because of his measurables and that defense. Maybe he goes, in between 20 and 32. But going number 1 overall, and that's what's so funny. When I think they had him slotted correctly when the draft process first started after they won the national championship. I think they had him in the 20s. I think that's correct. All of a sudden that he goes up all the way up to number 1
because of his combine
because of a stupid combine workout. But again, that's why these guys get fired a lot of times, because they don't make solid decisions, because they don't watch the film enough. They just they see some workout wow them, and the guy can't play.
So Evan Neal goes 7 to the Giants, and Jamison Williams goes 12th to the Detroit Lions. That is some good news, some big news there for Alabama, because they become the second school in the common draft era to have multiple offensive players selected in the first round in 4 consecutive drafts. They join the University of Miami, who did it from 2001 to 2004, and they become the first school since 1967 to have an offensive player selected in the first round in 8 consecutive NFL drafts from 2015 to 2022. They also joined Texas A&M from 13 to 16 and Southern Cal from 80 to 83 as the only schools to have an offensive lineman selected in the first round in 4 consecutive NFL drafts since 1967, and joined the University of Tennessee as the only school since 1967 to have a wide receiver chosen in the first round in 3 consecutive NFL drafts.
Yeah, it's heady stuff. I mean, only thing about for J-Mo, I just wonder if Jared Goff can get him the ball. And, of course, we don't know how much J-Mo is going to play. I mean, certainly we don't expect it right away. He's recovering from the ACL surgery. But Detroit needs playmakers. There's no doubt about that. I thought their picks were sound. Aiden Hutchinson is a low-risk dude. And what I mean by that is I don't know how much, upside he's got. That's that dreaded word again. But I do think you know what you're getting. I think he is an outstanding pass rusher. I think he's a guy that can give you 8 to 10 sacks a year for several seasons. Plus, I'll say this, he'll sell some tickets. He went to Michigan. He's from the area. I think he really honestly wanted to go there. So I'm excited for Detroit. Him and J-Mo, I thought, were 2 really good first rounders. I thought the Giants, if Kayvon Thibodeau, don't necessarily agree with all of his takes on things, but he was a very productive player. Thought to be at the beginning of the year maybe the number 1 overall pick. Has a ton of potential himself. He does have some upside. So you're getting him and Evan Neal. I thought that was 2 solid, top 10 picks for the New York Football Giants.
All right, let's get out to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. There's your little NFL draft capsule from last night. Richard's with us this morning. Good morning, Richard.
Morning, guys. Drew, Scott, did you guys see the thing about the Miami NIL last night?
Yeah, we saw that, man. That's unfortunate. I would tell Wong to hit the road.
Yeah, I mean, you got people basically holding out, are going to go into basically going into the portal if they don't get an increase in their contract, because the other 2 guys Miami signed out of the transfer portal got more money.
Well, we saw this on the football side about a couple months ago, did we not? Florida State had a player that held out of spring football because he felt like he was not getting the payments that he was promised, and it was based on production, and he had not produced, but he still felt like he deserved some of this NIL money that he was promised, and so he left Florida State.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I said, it's like the booster for Miami saying, we signed a contract with you. It's a contract. You're stuck. It was a 2-year contract he signed with Long. It's what he's coming back with.
Yeah.
I mean, how
weird is this though? When you read the story and you go over everything, it's weird to see this, that a college athlete, and it's from his agent.
Yeah, because they're going to be represented now.
So it's a college athlete. This is just like professional sports. We see it all the time in professional sports. His agent says this, his agent says that. We now see it in college athletics. His agent's telling us that he is going to sit out unless he gets bigger money.
And part of the
and that's why. Yeah, go ahead, Richard.
I was going to say part of the problem
go
is
ahead, man.
These guys a COVID year. These guys are 24, 25 years old. They're not 19 either, to where they're looking at it as making money instead of kind of going out into the real world. It's kind of, a lot of these guys, may have missed 3 or 4 games that year, but they're, like I said, a lot of these guys are just older. Like Long, I think he's like 23 or 24.
Yeah, they are. He was one of those older guys that they had last year, and he's not a guy that's going to probably ever go high in the draft, so he's trying to maximize his earning potential now, and I get it, but it's kind of like what Nick Saban said too. You have to go out and earn it, and he signed a contract, so you have to live up to said contract. It shouldn't be one of those things where you can renegotiate all the times. I mean, it is what it is. It's there's a caste system in a tier system in the NBA where guys make more than others. So but of course, Coach Saban was saying the way Alabama's going to do it with high tide traditions, they're going to try to disperse all that money evenly, and then whatever you go out and earn, like this contract Wong signed, that's what you earn, and he can maybe try to go earn some more NIL from another source. But again, I'm just saying, if you've already signed that 2-year contract, you signed it.
Here's the deal, though. Here's what it all boils. Here's where it comes down to for Miami. John Ruiz is the guy behind all of this. He orchestrated all of this. He is the billionaire lawyer who founded LifeWallet. LifeWallet is the deal who is Wong signed with. Ruiz told the that the NIL deals, he has over 100 athletes at Miami totaling more than $5 million. So one guy is doing all of this for the University of Miami.
Yeah, just crazy.
Yes, it is. It's unfortunate. Richard, this is what I tweeted last night. That's why this is going to have to be regulated.
Yeah,
yeah. And he has until
the first. I guess
he only has.
I guess you have to be in by the first, which would be Sunday.
Yes, he has until Sunday to put his name in the transfer portal so that he can play next year. And just so you know, I saw something the other day, at least on the football side.
Right.
There has been in the last week alone, there has been over 300, nearly 400 names go in the transfer portal to get in before the May 1st deadline.
Well, you have spring training over for most of these places, because it's sort of like what was the defensive back for Alabama the other day, Drew? I keep up with it in football, but I had never even heard of the guy. I mean, but these guys that are running fourth string, like Wynn.
Oh, you mean Kane Williams? Yeah, the redshirt freshman. Yeah, from New Orleans, yeah.
But like I said, a lot of these guys realize they're third or fourth string after spring practice, and they better, if they want to play somewhere next year, they better hit the road.
Yeah, they do, and again, it's just one of those things. But the situation with Wong was very, very unfortunate to see. I mean, I thought he was a really good player for Jim Larrañaga. He would be again. I think he's making a mistake leaving, and to me, it's not a good look with your teammates if you're more concerned about your NIL, earnings than trying to win games. And again, it's not like the kid's not earning some money, but now he's basically trying to put himself above his team and be like, well, I need to be the highest paid player on this team. I mean, come on, bro. That's kind of that's one of those things where it's, a situation where I think that should be, it shouldn't be anybody's business how much everybody's making.
Right. And it unfortunately is.
Yeah.
All right, Richard, thanks for the
– Go ahead, Richard, one more point. Go ahead.
All right, thanks, Richard. All right, let's get that break in because when we come back, we're going to continue our preview of the Huntsville Championship. Round 2, we're going to find out how those golfers were able to shoot 7 under in round 1.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Good morning from the traffic center. Looking good at this point. I don't have anything new accident-wise. No stalls or traffic signal headaches. Heavy traffic load, though. You be careful on that trip in. Popeye's $6 shrimp tackle box is back with 8 of the butterfly shrimp, a signature side, and a buttermilk biscuit. University and Jordan, 72 and Jeff, and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
DQ presents... Picture this. You stand before the awe-inspiring new signature stack burger menu at DQ and your mouth wonders, where have you been all my life? That's 5 taste bud-tempting cheeseburgers with 100% real seasoned beef. You peek at the loaded A1 stack burger with 2 premium sauces. Then the flamethrower stack burger with tongue-tingling jalapeno bacon. Then you realize moments like these are exactly why we have the DQ signature stack burger menu. DQ. Happy tastes good. Get it delivered at DQ.com.
What's better than Valley Equipment Rental? 2 Valley Equipment Rentals, and that's just what we have now. The original on the South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road, and their second location on North Memorial Parkway just north of Winchester Road. Valley Equipment is locally owned and has more skid steers, excavators, and lifts than anyone in the area, plus all the small tools that you need to get the job done like a pro. And if you are a pro, you need to check out the new North location now because Valley Equipment has what you need. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Did you know that your car, truck, or SUV may be worth over 30 or 40% more than it was last year? It's true. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and we'd love your trade-in for a personalized custom factory order on a 2022 Explorer, Expedition, Ranger, or F-150. You'll get exactly the color and options you want, and Woody Anderson Ford will save you 5% off MSRP, plus you'll get any additional Ford factory rebates. Or if you need a new ride today, choose a Ford Blue Advantage certified pre-owned vehicle. We have over 100 to choose from. Our Ford Gold certified or low mileage, gently used vehicles with great warranties. They've passed a 172-point inspection by certified technicians, come with our 24-hour roadside assistance, plus a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change. At Woody Anderson Ford, whether it's a new order or a pre-owned, we promise to always do the right thing. Corner of George and Sparkman, hope to see you soon.
The world champions are back, and you can only hear them right here. Braves baseball is rolling, and Atlanta's ready for a huge 2022 season.
Swung on and struck out towards deep right field, rising through the sky, back to the wall, bombs away.
Tonight, the Braves roll out for a big road trip to Arlington as Snit and the Braves take on the American League West Texas Rangers. Braves radio's on the air at 6:50 Eastern, 5:50 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
You know, this process is all about talking ball.
Listen to Talkin Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond.
What did they want privacy for? To just start talking ball.
Every weekday morning, wake up with Scott and Drew. It's Talkin Ball. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now more of Talkin Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on your home for Crimson Tide Sports 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Roll Tide.
All right, welcome back to Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond with you. It is round 2 of the Huntsville Championship, part of the Corn Ferry Tour here at the Ledges. It is 7:28, so that means our 7:27 tee times just teed off. And Zach Fisher teeing off on number 1. And if that name is familiar, well, if you've looked at the leaderboard, he is atop the leaderboard at 7 under with Harrison Endicott at 7 under. Both of them shoot a 63 in round 1 here at the Ledges. The wind is blowing today. I don't know what the scores would be like, but I tell you, if the course is in shape like it was yesterday, I don't know. This could be a race to the cut line.
It really could. And, you know, we've got our next guest with us on the Neighbors Wealth. Well, I knew I was going to say the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline because I say it all the time. He's actually live here at the Ledges. He's been with the Ledges since 2004. He's, a licensed PGA golf professional. He's the golf pro here, the head of golf over here at the Ledges, and we talked with him last year, and we wanted to get his thoughts once again on the second annual Huntsville Championship on the Corn Ferry Tour, and that's Rob Clark. Rob, welcome back, man.
Thanks for having me. There we go. Let's see if that works a little bit better. I'm kind of sleeping at the wheel here.
It's all good.
Round 1 in the books. Your thoughts on how the course held up for round 1?
I thought it was a great first day. If you compare it to last year, I thought the play was really, really smooth. We had a couple of, the course is playing so fast.
Yeah.
The fairways are so fast right now, so these guys are bombing it. And, where in a normal condition you might play par 5s, typically with a 3-shot. A lot of these guys are going for all the par 5s and 2. It's crazy to watch.
That's crazy. And how big a factor was the wind yesterday? Because it really seemed like, when we were here in the morning, and before things can change a little bit going into the afternoon and in the early evening. But how big a factor was the wind, you thought?
So it's really interesting because with 2 waves of tee times, if you had morning yesterday, you had a tough start, and just like today, I mean, it's probably 10-mile-an-hour wind right now, and with some of those pins, it's going to be brutal out there. It's going to be fun to watch.
So the pin placements today, do you think they're going to allow for the golfers to attack it a little bit more, or do you think they're kind of saying, okay, 7 under, you guys made that look a little too easy. We're gonna stick them in a place today that's going to challenge you a little bit.
I have had an opportunity to look at the pins today.
Yeah.
And so I would say there's going to be a couple holes out there that are going to be pretty interesting to go watch.
I had a chance yesterday to sit down with a couple caddies, and they were game planning on how to attack the round up here at the Ledges. And the one hole, and you can help us explain why maybe they were doing this, the one hole that they wanted to spend about 10 minutes watching people play was hole number 2.
And that's going to be fun today too, because they had an easy pin actually yesterday for number 2, but it was playing downwind, and so the green kind of slopes away from you. So they're hitting wedges in, which is good, but if you don't spin it, you're going to bounce off the back of that, and there's no telling what it's going to do after that. And today, though, they have the pin tucked behind the bunker on 2, which is going to make it very, very interesting to watch.
Okay.
Well, yeah, and it was interesting because I was on with Wes and Steve last night, live at our great sponsor, Baumhauer's, on the drive, and when Rob Oppenheim called in and gave us a little of his overview of the round, and he did tee off. I mean, like I think one of the first guys, 635, and he was talking about how the wind and it was really a hilly course. It was his first time to play it, and so he was 1 under, had a solid round, but again, didn't get a chance to take advantage of the weather conditions like he might today, because I think he tees off about 10 till noon, so he'll have a chance maybe to make a run.
I think so. I think that the scores will be
Yeah.
Well, it looked like yesterday, too, the guys that teed off on the back nine, that started their round on the back nine, especially even in the morning rounds, had a little bit of an advantage because that back nine, you mentioned, they just want to drive it and bomb it. You can really let it loose on the back nine.
Well, and I know y'all have played out here. If you stand on number 10 tee, it's pretty wide open. It's a par 5, so it's a little easy.
That water on the right-hand side doesn't really bother them too much.
No, not at all, because these guys are going for it in 2. But if you stand up on number 1 at 6:30 in the morning with a 10-mile-an-hour wind right to left, and you look out there, it's intimidating.
But still, though, I was watching most of them hit off the morning up until about 10:30. And still, a lot of those guys, even on number 1, because it looks like the tee box is back is about as far as you could go. If you're going to go back any further, you're going to put them down the hill towards the driving range. But they were coming up short. I mean, they were looking at about a 200-yard second shot there on number 1.
So I don't know if you remember, but last year they teed off actually a tee box closer.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the changes we added. We changed the structure of the putting green, the practice putting green.
Okay.
And then we moved that tee back probably about 20 yards. So that changed the whole dynamic of that hole. So now where they were last year hitting hybrids and irons off the tee, now they're hitting drivers and 3-woods off the tee. So that brings a lot different shot going into the green. And this is a second shot golf course. This is I mean, you have to rely on where you hit that second shot onto the green.
Any other changes that the golfers are seeing out there on the course besides number 1?
That's really the only change we put on the golf course.
Really?
And it's a good change, though. I mean, the players really enjoy it now.
And, Rob, I believe that's probably up to the tour's call, but on a round-to-round basis, how many tee changes or adjustments are made? Usually?
You mean for the tournament?
Yeah, for the tournament.
So they'll move the tees daily.
Just daily?
Daily.
Like, even during the round, too?
No, you can't.
No.
That's what I was going to say. You have to do that beforehand, right?
Correct.
And I guess what I'm asking is, because I'm not really familiar with the decision-making process, how do they kind of decide to make those decisions?
So it's part of the planning process. They'll come out here 2 weeks ahead of time, and they do a whole setup, and so they know
what they're going to do.
Yeah, from day 1 to day 4, they know what they're going to do. Weather may impact that some, but they know where their pins are going to be. They know where the tees are going to be, and that most of the par 4s and par 5s will stay pretty consistent.
Right.
It's the par 3s that they'll have fun with and kind of move them around.
Now, there was a little bit of rain overnight, not much. I mean,
last night,
yeah,
just
a smidgen. That did that affect anything? Do you think? Did it make the ground softer at all?
Zero impact.
Okay,
zero.
Okay,
and even with this wind, it's dried up and gone, and it's going to be very, very fast today.
Now,
and it's typical of a PGA Tour event where they limit the amount of water they put on the golf course, especially during the week.
That's
of the
where I was going to say. Are you guys going to be like, accidentally let a sprinkler run loose on the 5th hole just because, we want to?
The players would like that.
Yeah, very much.
And they may not, but they may be out here in the middle of the night trying to do something. But
the old Bull Durham try to call the rain delay or whatever, trying to soften something up out there.
Right.
Well, and then of course, how is the weather looking for the rest of the weekend? It was looking strong yesterday, but then I was told last night Sunday might be a little iffy. How's it looking?
Yeah, so tomorrow looks pretty good. Going into Sunday, they have the chance of rain is pretty significant. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll probably make some decisions later on this afternoon on how we're going to approach that. But we may have a lot of golf played Saturday.
Nice.
What would be, you mentioned a lot of golf played on Saturday. What would be a scenario that we would see, or, how would you try to play a lot of golf on Saturday?
So if the PGA Tour comes back and says, the chance of rain is very significant, we don't know how much day we'll have on Sunday, they may try to get more golf in on Saturday, more than the 3rd round. They may even start the 4th round. And in some instances where if they don't think they're going to get any play on Sunday, they may make it a 3-day tournament, or they may come back on Monday.
Okay, so it's not like the PGA Tour where if you're not playing on Sunday, then you're playing on Monday no matter what. The Korn Ferry has a little bit of different options there.
There's a little bit of leeway there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know you'll have to make these decisions as the weekend goes on, but if, say, you do have to have some Monday golf, what would the time frame be for that? Is there any kind of is the contingency plan already been kind of looked at?
So it's a good thing that next week is in Nashville So it's an easy drive.
Yeah, okay. Hour and a half, bam, yeah.
So that will make a big part of the decision. But really, it just depends, again, on the weather. If it rains early in the morning and we can get out mid-afternoon, I'm sure they'll do it.
So the golf course holding up well here at the Ledges. We asked Penn this, the thoughts on the golfers. The golfers loved it. Did you guys get any feedback from the club as far as the golfers, what they thought about year one from out here?
Yeah, I think most of the golfers, especially the ones that have come back, really, really have enjoyed this. And then the guys that it's the first time, it's always fun to see people come out here for the first time.
Rob Oppenheim was, it was great.
They go, Alabama? Really? Really? They think maybe North Carolina, maybe what Eastern Tennessee. But, it's really a treat for us. It's so fun to watch these guys go out there and play, and especially when the course is in great shape and the day is just beautiful. It's a bonus.
So I'm curious. We had two guys shoot 63.
Yeah.
What's the course record out here? I'm just curious to see if that even came somewhat close.
So technically it tied the course record.
Okay. Technically, okay.
And I say that because we got in a big argument about it yesterday because on Tuesday in the practice round, one of the players shot 59.
Ooh, okay.
Whoa.
But did he
it's
drop
a practice
balls?
round.
Yeah, exactly.
And you could do some things. Yes.
And you're dropping balls. But according to his caddy, he played everything out and shot 59. So that would be incredible to watch.
That would be unbelievable.
So 63, technically, we're going to put an asterisk there.
Yeah.
Tied the court record.
Yeah.
Well, with the conditions, Rob, and you've been here since 2004, you know this course so well. With the conditions today and potentially tomorrow with great weather, could we see somebody make a run at it?
I think so, maybe tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
But today, there's not. I don't think the scores will be this high today that were yesterday. I just don't.
So everybody's going to kind of stay around, come back towards Harrison and Zach a little bit maybe. I mean, not that everyone's they haven't run away with this, but they're going to still be grouped together by the end of the day.
So I talked to Harrison's caddy this morning. He's actually a local guy. Guy used to work for me, Brad Story. And,
really?
It's a great
over
story.
At Huntsville Country Club.
We've talked to Brad,
And he just said that Harrison missed one shot the whole day and just played really, really, really solid. And he says he's really hitting it well. So I'm be interested to see. He went out first thing this morning, so I'd be interested to see how he holds up with this weather.
Yeah, no question about it. But it's great to be here. I mean, and I, we were kind of calling this the servants' quarters yesterday. But see, I joke about this because, and I mean this in all due respect. This play, it's what you just talked about with the players, and they're like, "Wow, this is Alabama." This is like when I come up here, it's like being in a different place. I don't even consider this Huntsville. It's so unique.
Yes,
such a unique environment. And of course, I'm a child of the 80s, so I call it Falcon Crest because it does. It reminds me when we were up top last year, when you're up on that, up on the patio or whatever, and you're looking out over everything. It's an unbelievable view.
It is.
I mean, it's so beautiful here.
Yeah, and that was part of the plan, I think, when the ownership had this vision of the clubhouse and everything.
Right.
Because the clubhouse came up 3 years after the course, and so they did a great job with it. It's pretty.
I remember when it was a trailer up here.
Exactly.
The entrance to the lot, that the clubhouse, or not the clubhouse, but the pro shop was a trailer for so long.
And the cart barn was a tent in the wind.
Well, you know what, though? I haven't remembered a spring as windy as what we have had here this spring. So, I mean, we talk about the wind today. We talked about it yesterday. But it has been an entire spring of wind, which has really kind of probably kept this golf course dry a little bit.
And cold.
Yeah.
It's been unusually cold, I think, relatively to the
It was
years
chilly
past.
yesterday.
It was.
Yeah.
And but the course is just the types of grass we have on the course. They just the greens love this type of weather, so it's going to be. I mean, it's just going to be a really, really good week.
Well, and then as we wrap it up with you, what kind of growth are you you expect to see going forward with this tournament? Because it seems like it's already becoming a stop where the players love this place. That's the thing that the feedback we've gotten, and just taking it in last year and then watching it, and it's already started to grow. What about the future of the Huntsville Championship?
So we're really fortunate in the fact that that week one of a 3-week kind of turn. You go here, then they go Nashville, then they go Knoxville.
Yeah.
So it's really attractive to the players because
it's
traveling expenses and everything like that. So I really see this thing going just each year going bigger and bigger and bigger.
I really do too.
Well, thank you for taking time this morning to
I know it's a
talk
busy
to
one
us.
for you, but we appreciate it as always.
Thank
sir.
you so much.
Thanks for joining us, and hopefully that everything goes well for you guys. It looks magnificent.
Thanks.
Good stuff there. And the golfers, again, we are getting ready to see a next group come out on the course here at 7:42. Andrew Young, Grant Hirschman, Connor Gotze will tee off here in about 6 minutes here on the ledges. At the ledges. Connor Gotze will tee off again, but he will tee off on number 10. So if you're making your way up here to watch him, or if you're walking and you've downloaded the app and you are listening to us, Connor Gotze will tee off on the 10th hole, not number 1, but tee off on number 10. So he's going to be over there. Yeah, he's going to be over there at the patio.
7:48, I think.
7:48. Yep, that's when we just said he'll go off there on the golf course.
Cue the horns.
Yes, it's we are down here. You know what, though? Saying the servants' quarters may not be the most politically correct thing to say. We could say we're in the wine cellar.
Yeah.
We could be in the wine cellar, which sounds a little bit better, does it not?
Right, yeah.
I mean, it does kind of, we do have, it does look like, and we have the whiskey tasting center right to us to the right, which is not open at 7:43 in the morning. No. Hour 1 of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
Outdoor season is coming. Can't wait.
Here at Brooks & Collier, neither can we. Outdoor season is also grilling season.
And we have plenty of grills and smokers in stock from Traeger, Blaze, and Big Green Egg.
There's the greenhouse, new indoor items and home furnishings as well.
Whatever it takes. Browse over 2 acres of furnishings. Can't wait.
How about you? North Alabama's indoor and outdoor living headquarters for over 75 years.
813 Meridian Street and at brooksandcollier.com.
This April, the Corn Ferry Tour returns to the Rocket City for the 2022 Huntsville Championship at the Ledges. Experience the beauty and drama of the Ledges in person as golf's rising stars chase their PGA Tour dreams. From the first man on the green to the roar of the crowd when the final putt drops. Be a part of every moment on the mountain. April 28th to May 1st. Tickets to be a part of the action are on sale now at HuntsvilleChampionship.com.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that His mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Had a wreck at Governor's in Gallatin. It's been pulled to the side of the road, so no problem there. Everything else looks really good. We had one wreck earlier, 565 eastbound, about mile marker 10. That one's been long gone. Don't forget about Panoply downtown. They have a lot of streets around the park blocked off. Officers, construction workers, and first responders put their lives on the line every time they step on the roadway. Why not make it safer for them? Move over. It's the law. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff, Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
This segment of Talkin Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
All right, welcome back. I thought I could get a piece of coffee cake down during the break, but I started a little too late.
You've already eaten a whole breakfast before that, though.
Well, I got that in before the show started.
That's what I'm saying. So you've at least already been, and you're, a bottle and a half in?
Well,
with the water, not alcohol, by the way. We're not saying he's drinking.
I did mention that that the whiskey, is that whiskey over there?
Yeah, that's the whiskey.
Yeah, Alabama whiskey. Yeah, I did mention that is next to us, but they are not open right now. This is, look, when I'm on here, and I know where the good food is, and I appreciate the hospitality that the Huntsville Championship has provided us for the last 2 days. I always will take advantage of the great hospitality, and we have had great hospitality. Yes, we have had great hospitality, and I may or may not have fallen asleep out here on the chairs yesterday in the afternoon here at the golf tournament.
Or as another great broadcaster in radio would say, allegedly.
Allegedly fell asleep out here. I will not deny. I mean, look, it was so beautiful up here. The surroundings were so peaceful.
Like I say, man, cue the horns. Cue the horns.
And it's a golf tournament, so you're supposed to be quiet. And obviously we're here in the wine cellar / dungeon / servants' quarters. So,
of the Falcon Crest, known as the Ledges.
Anyway, let's go to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Arizona Jay with us this morning. Good morning, Arizona Jay.
What's up, Jay?
Scott, what you over there drinking right now?
Look,
it's not moonshine. It's actually water.
Yes, we're next to the Clyde Mays, and I know they're not a sponsor, but I'm just going to mention it anyway. The Clyde Mays Whiskey Tasting Center, or the Whiskey Suite. And I'm disappointed because it is 7:50 in the morning and it's not open. I can imagine there would be a fan or two that would be thrilled to have some whiskey at 7:50 in the morning, but it does not open till a little bit later. So, but you can come up here, and once it's open, then we move. So, I mean, we're not here when it's open, but yes, I do have water though.
Hey, sometimes it be like that early in the morning. You got to get that early one in. But I'm listening to these people up in Nashville this morning. Yeah, I'm listening to these people up in Nashville this morning. It's like the whole city's on suicide watch after this A.J. Brown trade. And I'm thinking, like, it's like the transfer portal works for Alabama people, even in the pros, man. So it's like, what the hell's going on here? Because, Jalen got A.J. Brown with him now. And the thing about it, they unveiling that these two have been talking even before the season happened. So it's like the transfer portal works in college and the transfer portal works in the pros. It's like the rich keep getting richer. And I'm sure everybody's happy for Jalen and everything. So, but you should hear these people up in Nashville right now. You would swear like somebody's mom got slapped or something or whatever. It's just like everybody, the whole city is salty right now.
Well, A.J. Brown, for those that don't know, traded last night to the Philadelphia Eagles. A lot of people thought that it would not be A.J. Brown being traded last night. It would be a receiver that wanted out of
Deebo Samuel.
Deebo Samuel. He would be the one traded, but instead it
the
was
problem,
A.J.
wanted
Brown.
$25 million a year, and let's be frank, he's not that caliber receiver in my opinion. He's really, really good, but he's not worth $25 million a year, which is what his agent wanted. He's getting I want to say $100 million contract with 50. Yeah, exactly. He's getting a $100 million contract with $57 million guaranteed, I believe, is what I heard from the Eagles. I think they immediately signed him to a new contract. And the Eagles wanted to pair him with Devontae Smith. They've got some good young talent offensively,
and they got a quarterback that can get on the ball.
Allegedly. But anyway, now I will say this: this is going to be a make or break year for Hurts. He's got to get them to the playoffs and win. If not, they're going to be looking to upgrade at the quarterback position. But there is no excuses. They've got a really good running game, some good young talent. Nick Sirianni is the head coach, so let's see what happens. With the Eagles.
And so that contract that you mentioned, A.J. Brown will get $57 million guaranteed. It's a 4-year, $100 million deal. In exchange, the Titans got an 18th and first overall picks last night in the draft, and the Titans parlayed that 18th pick into Treylon Burks, the wide receiver from Arkansas.
They replaced him in effect
yes.
with a cheaper, younger player. And I love Burks. I've said I made no bones that he should be a first-round pick. I don't know. I think he's very similar to A.J. Brown. We'll see if he ends up being as good a player. He didn't play in a great passing system at Arkansas. They're more of a run-based scheme. In the KJ Jefferson's a really good quarterback, but his strength is more as a runner, not passer. And so at times I think they had trouble getting him the ball. But when they got him the football, he made play after play, and he didn't have a ton of help. His Michael Woods is the second leading receiver. He ended up transferring to Oklahoma. So I really like Burks. But again, and Jay, I don't know if you agree with me here. I think another issue for the Titans is Steve Tannehill. I'm not sold on him as being a big-time QB. So this is going to be a really watershed year for him also.
Well, I go to Nashville a lot. I got to be up there this weekend. It's going to be a really just horrible weekend this weekend after all this. But I was telling them, because they were already talking about A.J. being traded. I was thinking Deebo would be traded for A.J. And they were talking like I was crazy. But I was like, A.J.'s going to be traded. And then they were mentioning this thing about him having degenerative knees. And I just tried to tell them this morning, look, you might have gotten out of how the Lakers got a problem with AD, Anthony Davis over there. Really talented, but is never available. And, you may have gotten rid of that problem, but it's still just no. Or it's dude, if he's been diagnosed with degenerative knees, if I'm the GM, I'm going to try to make a move. But I was like, look, you're trying to get rid of Tannehill. Why not trade A.J. Brown and somebody else for next year's first-round draft picks? Many first-round draft picks you can get for next year. And don't worry about the fans grumbling, because you know what? The one thing, the NFL is like crack to NFL fans. They're always going to come back. The crack man can raise the prices, but they're going to still show up to the dope house. So it's what are you worried about? There's a lot of good draft picks coming out next year. Why not make a move like that?
Well, and here's the thing, too. I know Titans fans are going to be upset because A.J. Brown is a talented wide receiver. And, on the surface right now, the Julio Jones trade has not looked as good as what we thought it would look when they got him from the Atlanta Falcons. So you trade away your most you trade away your most productive wide receiver. So it's what do you do? Well, the thing is sometimes these NFL executives are smart. Sometimes they're not, but sometimes they are. A.J. Brown's production is trending probably not. The Titans probably have got the most use out of A.J. Brown that they could. And
again, I wouldn't pay him $25 million. And they got Robert Woods from the Rams.
Yes.
If he's healthy, he can be a really good player. You've got Treylon Burks. And I got a funny feeling before the end of the draft, they're probably going to address wide receiver again, or they may look into a trade. But I don't think they'll trade for Deebo Samuel because they wouldn't pay A.J. Brown, and I don't think they'd pay Deebo Samuel either.
Yeah. All right, Arizona Jay, we got to go, bud. Thanks for the call.
Appreciate it, man.
All right. Chad, how much time do we have left? Do we have time to get to Brandon? All right, we got less than a minute, Brandon.
What's up, man?
Everybody at the Atlanta Falcons organization ought to have the ever-living hell beat out of them with a baseball bat. That stupidness that they pulled last night, drafting a wide receiver, people are going to run through that offensive line like diarrhea hopped up on Metamucil. It's going to be bad. That goes.
I would have drafted Charles Cross.
Easily. That goes to show you they don't give two craps about Marcus Mariota, and they are treating him as a throwaway. The greatest need they had a chance above and below to take them, and took a wide receiver. Aiden Hutchinson and Jamison Williams, they are basically going to be determined where they go. I think if they'd have gone to some other teams, they'd had a better career. But, dear God, they went to Detroit where careers go to die. Maybe they'll go somewhere on their second contract.
All right, Brandon, thanks for the phone call. Sorry for the short time there.
Yeah, but hey, he'll never
Falcon
speak
Crest.
behind Falcon Crest music again, though. That's great.
Right.
That was awesome.
Falcon Crest taking us to the break on hour number 1 as we come from the servants' quarters here at the Legends. I can't even say it without laughing. Good stuff. Hey, we're going to recap the draft coming up next. We're going to break it all down. We'll find out more about the A.J. Brown trade. We'll find out about the number 1 pick. We'll find out where everybody went right or went wrong in round 1 of the NFL draft coming up in hour 2 of Talking Ball on 7.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The world champions are back, and you can only hear them right here. Braves baseball is rolling, and Atlanta's ready for a huge 2022 season.
Swung on and struck out towards deep right field, rising through the sky, back to the wall, bombs away.
Tonight, the Braves roll out for a big road trip to Arlington as Snit and the Braves take on the American League West Texas Rangers. Braves radio's on the air at 6:50 Eastern, 5:50 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
Tom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Had a wreck at Governor's in Gallatin, not much to it. They moved it out of the way pretty quick. Everything else looks good. We are dealing with a heavy traffic load. You be careful on that ride in this morning. Things can change quickly. From routine care to heart failure, Dr. Randall Burns and the team at Huntsville Heart Specialists have the expertise to care for all matters of the heart. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Not a bad Friday across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. An incredibly isolated shower certainly can't be ruled out. Most of us probably going to end up staying dry under a partly sunny sky. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s, dropping into the upper 50s, low 60s through the overnight, early into your Saturday morning. We're going to have to deal with a fair amount of cloud cover through Saturday afternoon. An isolated shower can't be ruled out, but it's still not going to be a bad front half of the weekend. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Heads up, sports bettors. Right now you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
Western Conference First Round Series Game 6 tonight between the Grizzlies and Timberwolves. Memphis a 1-point favorite. The over-under set at 229. NFL Draft underway. The Buffalo Bills, the pre-draft favorite to win the Super Bowl, plus 650 odds ahead of the Bucks at plus 700, and the Chiefs, Rams, and Packers at plus 1,000. Epicenter is the odds-on favorite to win next Saturday's Kentucky Derby. He's also at plus 2,000 to win a Triple Crown, with Taba plus 3,300 and Zandon plus 4,000. The Braves minus 140 on the money line tonight against the Rangers at plus 130. The over-under at 9. Ian Anderson getting the start for Atlanta against Garrett Richards for Texas.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Welcome to Talkin Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Hi, welcome back. It is hour 2 of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. We are coming to you live once again on a Friday morning from the Ledges Golf and Country Club up here. It's the Huntsville Championship, part of the Korn Ferry Tour. It is round 2. Plenty of golfers already out on the course this morning. And so far, your leader, Zach Fisher, your co-leader, I should say, Zach Fisher and Harrison Endicott. Endicott won't tee off until 7:59. Well, actually, he just teed off a few minutes ago. So Harrison Endicott is underway. He will start his round on the back 9. So Harrison on number 10. Zach Fisher has already played hole number 1, and Fisher is still 7 under as he has parred his first hole of the day here. And we're kind of keeping an eye on Harrison Endicott because he has got local ties on the bag for his week here at the Huntsville Championship. Brad Story, the head pro over at the Huntsville Country Club, is on the bag. And when I say on the bag, he is caddying for Harrison Endicott this week here at the Ledges. And as we were told in hour number 1, their 63s yesterday, and we got to put an asterisk by it, tied a course record here at the Ledges. So that's the big story, and that's why we are on the road this morning. And the NFL Draft is back at it again later this evening as it is rounds 2 and 3. Yes, you get a great player in round 1. You could be that franchise transitional player in round 1. Notice I said could be a transitional franchise player because not everybody in round 1 becomes a franchise player. In rounds 2, 3, 4, and 5 is where you can really make your hay in the NFL Draft, and we get rounds 2 and 3 coming up later this evening.
We do, and we're going to take a look back at round 1 and then preview those next couple of days with some key guys that he's watching. But we talked to this gentleman last week. He does a great job as the managing partner for Draft Countdown, and he's based out of Mobile, Alabama. You can connect with him at draftcountdown.com. They had live YouTube coverage yesterday, and that's going to continue, I'm sure, throughout the draft. Our next guest is with us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. That's Brian Bosarge, who's going to talk some NFL Draft, and you can connect with him at Deep Fried Draft on Twitter. Brian, welcome back to Huntsville with Drew and Scott. How are you?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming back on with us, man. And just your initial impressions. I've been critical of the Jacksonville Jaguars' number 1 overall pick so far, but what caught your eye with the first round?
3 clear winners here for me last night. Starts with both New York teams. I mean, it helps when you have multiple picks in the first round, but the Giants pick 5 and pick 7. They got my number 1 overall player, Kayvon Thibodeau, just high upside, productive pass rusher from Oregon. Love everything about his first step. and ability to get to the passer. And then Evan Neal from Alabama, my number 3 overall player, they get at pick 7. So you get number 1 and number 3 overall players. That's a win for me. The Jets end up with 3 picks in the first round after trading back in. They got Ahmad Gardner, a big corner, at pick 4. Then they selected Garrett Wilson, arguably the top wide receiver in the class, to help out Zach Wilson at 10. And then they trade back into the first round, pick 26, and get a player that I actually mocked to them at pick 4, Jermaine Johnson, the edge rusher from Florida State. So for them to be able to do that, I mean, that's huge for a team that rebuilding, but trying to make a run in AFC East, where you're behind Buffalo right now, but there is a chance to compete there. And then finally, Baltimore. They always seem to knock these drafts out of the park. They sat last night, let the draft come to them. At pick 14, they get arguably one of the best players available, Kyle Hamilton from Notre Dame at safety. Is an immediate position need? No, but Baltimore knows that they can just take great players and eventually it'll work out. And then after trading their receiver Hollywood Brown to Arizona, they end up, moving back a couple of spots and getting Tyler Linderbaum, the center from Iowa, who does fill a big need for them, as Bradley Bozeman left in free agency. Linderbaum was my number 10 overall player in this class. I think he's a potential All-Pro, and Baltimore getting him at 25 feels like a steal here to me.
Well, let's talk about we just were talking about it, our number 1 to end up our number 1, and that is the Tennessee Titans trade of A.J. Brown to pick up a couple draft picks and then going out and getting Treylon Burks, the wide receiver from Arkansas. A good move by Tennessee?
It is if you don't want it. And it seems to be this way that teams have now started, we don't want to pay these wide receivers these big contracts. And A.J. Brown, they were going to have to pay, which he got a big extension with Philadelphia like immediately after. So this deal's been in the works a while because you can't negotiate a contract, 5 minutes after a trade's made, right, if you haven't been discussing this for a fair amount of time. But Tennessee, replaces him with Treylon Burks, who a lot of people compare Treylon Burks to a smaller version of A.J. Brown. So they're looking at it like, okay, we're not going to pay him. We'll just get a guy cheaper for 4 years, and then we'll replay this scenario again down the road.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's going to be really interesting. I was high on Burks. I think he can be a player similar to an A.J. Brown. Of course, he doesn't have the skins on the wall that A.J. does, and now they've moved on from A.J. and Julio Jones. They've traded for Robert Woods from the Rams. They do draft Treylon Burks, so they're going the Titans, it looks like, in a different direction offensively. This is a big year for certainly Steve Tannehill. But it's interesting with Philadelphia too, Brian, because they have now got a lot of capital offensively. They've got a Devontae Smith. You've got A.J. Brown. This is going to be a big year for Jalen Hurts to prove maybe that he's the quarterback going forward.
Yeah, you're correct. This is there's the old phrase that I can't say on the radio, but get off the pot, so to speak. And that's kind of where we're at with Jalen Hurts. This is it. Prove it, or we're going to move in another direction. And I don't know if you noticed with all of these trades, these big swings that Detroit made to go up to get Jamison Williams, that Philadelphia made to get A.J. Brown, that Arizona did to get Hollywood. Nobody gave up 2023 picks to move up, because you anticipate that that's going to be a better quarterback class with C.J. Stroud, Ohio State, Bryce Young from Alabama, possibly being at the top of that class. So nobody gave up all those extra 2023 picks they have, because maybe Jalen Hurts isn't it after all, but we still got that draft capital next year to move up to put ourselves in position to get one of those other quarterbacks just in case. So something to keep in mind there. With what Philadelphia and those other teams did.
So you talked about teams that did well on round 1, teams that got some cornerstone pieces maybe. What are some of the teams that left some cornerstone pieces out there that may not have picked up their best needs for round one?
A couple of, I don't want to call them head-scratcher picks, but I thought that Washington Commanders, Jahan Dotson, I thought that was a little early for him. I had him 47 on my board. They took him at 16. So that felt a little high. Kind of the same with New England and Cole Strange. That was the out-of-left field pick that always seems to happen in first round. There's always that one guy that comes out of nowhere. Cole Strange is a great player, though. I think he's going to be a really good NFL starter. So the 5 years down the road, this is probably going to look like, a genius move. But, it just kind of looks out of left field there. Kind of reminiscent of their pick of Logan Mankins at the end of the first round back in the day, where that nobody really understood that one either. And another player that came off the board maybe a half a round too early, in my opinion, was Kenyon Green, guard Texas A&M, goes to the Houston Texans in the middle of the first round. But that was the thing about last night with all the trades and everything. There really wasn't anything completely egregious. So hat tip to the NFL last night. It was a good, exciting first round.
And we're talking to Brian Bosarge, draftcountdown.com. What did you think of the Detroit Lions 2 picks? Aiden Hutchinson, a low-risk guy, plus there's the factor that he's a Michigan man, and he's going to probably help him sell some tickets. But also they traded back up to 12 to get Jamison Williams.
I love the trade because if you look at the trade, you go up 20 picks in the first round with a division rival. So you think you'd even pay a premium on that, and it really wasn't a bad trade at all. They basically swapped picks in the second round, and they gave up a third to go up 20 spots. I'm not want to say Minnesota got fleeced in this deal, but that appears to be what happened. And Detroit taking the risk. Detroit knows they're not ready next year, right? They're not going to be. They're not going to win a whole lot of games next year. So you don't have to rush Jamison Williams onto the field, and then you're going to be again positioned to get one of those quarterbacks next year because you're going to you're going to run out Jared Goff again, and he's not going to win you a lot of games. But you're going to replace Jared Goff in 2023 with all those extra picks that you still have. So that new quarterback will have the offensive line in place. He'll have his big receiver in place. It's pretty savvy strategy from Detroit. I really like that move.
And then we had one of our callers, great listeners. He's from Rome, Georgia, but he loves to listen to our station. We've connected with him on a couple of live events. Brandon, big Alabama fan and Falcons fan as well, and he was distraught over their first-round pick of Drake London. I thought they should have taken Charles Cross, who went the next pick to Seattle at 9. What did you think of the Falcons drafting Drake London?
I think this wouldn't have been as a surprising pick if Drake London didn't fracture his ankle midway through the season. If you were keeping up with him, he was on pace to set the FBS receptions record. He was going to shatter the record by he had something like 80-plus catches through 8 games. And it was an insane production that he was putting up in the season for Southern Cal. The question with London is how much is he going to be able to separate from receivers from corners in the NFL? I would have liked to. We've got no testing data on him. We don't know how fast he is. He plays like he's in that high 4.5 area to me, but we'll never know, I guess. And it's with Kyle Pitts already there. I mean, now they've got 2 really big receivers, but who's that? You don't really have that burner guy there now on the outside. So I guess we'll see how it works out. I thought receiver was going to be in play there, but I thought they could have gone a different direction with Drake London.
Well, tonight we get round 2, and this is where, a lot of the scouts, round 2, round 3, round 4, this is where a lot of those notes that you've done, those pre-draft workouts come in handy. What do you think we're going to see? We saw a lot of wide receivers, saw a lot of defensive guys go early in round one, record amount of guys going early in round one. Tampa Bay actually has the first pick in round number 2, followed by Minnesota, and then the Titans with the third pick in the second round. Where do you think we're going to see an emphasis in round 2?
Get ready for more defense.
Okay.
Because there's still plenty of those guys to go around. And I'm actually currently right now, because I have no life, currently working on a day 2 mock draft to go up a little bit later at Draft Countdown. My partner's already got one up already because he didn't sleep at all last night. I tried to get at least 4 hours in. But I'm going to have that up in a little bit. And the first 3 picks I have going off the board are all defense in this mock draft. So, get ready for that. I think you're going to see a mild quarterback run here in the second round where the risk is less for these teams. I think you're going to see maybe 3 to 4 quarterbacks go tonight. Well, I think you're going to see 4 quarterbacks go tonight. It's just where, I guess. I think Atlanta might actually be in play for one. So don't be surprised if that happens.
And I wasn't surprised really that the Steelers took Kenny Pickett. They got a long look at him for 4 years at Pitt, playing in the same stadium, and then he's a guy that was probably of the quarterbacks coming out this year, Brian. He was the most polished and ready to play.
Yeah, I think you're right. He just has of all the quarterbacks, in my opinion, he probably has the lowest ceiling though. The upside I don't think is there. I don't think that the Steelers have instilled fear in the other 3 teams in the AFC North with their pick of Kenny Pickett. But it steadies the ship, so to speak. He's a solid player, like I said. He's a Kirk Cousins-like player, if that makes any sense, where, he's no team really fears Kirk Cousins, right? But Kirk Cousins can still beat those teams. So it's kind of like that, in my opinion, with Kenny Pickett.
Was that the similar feeling? I can't remember. Was that the similar feeling when they drafted Ben Roethlisberger out of Miami? Was that the similar feeling that it didn't strike a lot of fear? Is Pittsburgh trying to capture lightning in a bottle for the second time?
Before Brian answers, I'm going to say this. I remember that draft. They traded up to get him from Miami of Ohio. I still think that with Ben Roethlisberger, there was a thought of a lot of upside because he had been a late bloomer, had not been a quarterback, had been kind of converted to be a QB because some people thought he wasn't even going to be a QB when he went to college. And he had tons of upside, huge size and arm. I think this is more of just a solid, like Brian just said, just a solid fit for the organization. But I thought there was a ton of upside, which they hit a grand slam on with Roethlisberger.
My partner said on our broadcast last night that he thinks that this is the Rooney family trying to make amends for not taking Dan Marino in 1983. They didn't want to pass on another big quarterback.
Yeah, that's another good point, no doubt about it. Well, how many quarterbacks do you think may go tonight? Obviously, Malik Willis is going to be somebody to watch.
4.
Yeah, we're going to get
which guys? Which quarterbacks? Yeah.
I can't tell you the order at this point, but I think you're going to see Matt Corral, Malik Willis, Desmond Ridder, and Sam Howell are all going to go at some point tonight, be it either early or late day 2 or round 2, maybe early round 3. But I think all those guys. I don't think there's going to be any other quarterbacks taken tonight. We'll probably see another 6 or 7 go on Saturday. But I think that's what you'll see tonight. 4 quarterbacks go at some point.
Mm-hmm. And for you on your board, I know you said you expect defense. Who's probably the most high-value pick that we're going to see go really early today?
I feel the highest player left on my board is Roger McCreary, the corner from Auburn. I think he's going to get pushed down because of his size and such, but he's the highest player I have left on my board. I think offensively, Christian Watson, wide receiver from North Dakota State, is a receiver that I'm really high on. I think he's going to go early tonight. And you got corners, Kyler Gordon, Andrew Booth, both I thought could have been first-round corners. I think they're going to go early. And a couple of interior defensive linemen, Perry and Winfrey, and from Oklahoma, Travis Jones from UConn. I think they're going to go fairly early as well.
Yeah, well, should be some great stuff. I know you guys are doing, you're basically burning the midnight oil. It's a huge undertaking, mocking this draft and covering it, for all the 3 days. But let everybody know how they can connect with you guys over at Draft Countdown.
You can follow me on Twitter at Deep Fried Draft. You can follow Draft Countdown on Twitter at Draft Countdown. And like we did last night, we're going to do it tonight and tomorrow as well. Pick to start to finish, youtube.com/The Draft Countdown. Go ahead and go there, subscribe to the channel, and get notified when we go live tonight and covering every pick.
All right, man. Appreciate it, Brian. Thank you for coming on with us.
Hey, thanks, guys.
That is a good recap there of draft, the round one NFL draft. Round 2s and 3 tonight. They're in Las Vegas, so should be another fantastic night. And then, boy, I tell you what, Las Vegas surely knows how to put on a party. I'll just say that. The NFL draft, and that's why Las Vegas is trying to get a lot of things. And down the road, they'll have the college football national championship game in a few years, no doubt about it. Let's get a break in. When we come back, we're going to recap on what's going on here at the Ledges for round 2, plus look ahead to more round 2 and 3 of the NFL draft.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
We're beginning to get into last-minute dash mode. Looks like we're going to have a lot of people running at the last minute this morning. You be careful on your trip in. Accident-wise, right now we're looking good. We do have Huntsville Utilities working on Maston Lake between Avondale and Adair. They're going to have traffic reduced there because of service work. And we've got Panoply downtown to watch out for. A lot of the streets are blocked off. No hoses, no mask. You could ask Dr. Sandman, that's Dr. Sandlin, for the medically proven benefits of the Somnodent for sleep apnea and for snoring. Dr. Sandlin, 350-CARE. Captain Nick in the North Parkway, Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Our latest zone deal is upon us. Log on to 977ESPN.com for Gunner's Landing. 2 rounds of golf for the price of 1, including a cart. Gunner's Landing is one of the Tennessee Valley's finest golf experiences. Just 35 minutes from downtown Huntsville, Gunner's Landing's 18-hole championship jewel is open to the public 7 days a week. Gunner's Landing offers you a golf experience like no other. Log on now, 977ESPN.com.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhsriserealestate.com.
Good internet is everything. So get extra reliable, super fast gig speed internet from WOW for only $49.99 a month. Plus get $300 on us when you sign up at Wowway.com. Wow, that's good internet. Wow. Limited to new customers with auto-pay and paperless billing. Subject to change. Terms apply.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey Wes, our company Fleming Roofing and Restoration specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a 5th-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your Your shingles, we can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10-plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us, too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is the time of year where we all expect inconsistent calls from umps.
You guys stink.
That's okay. We're used to it here.
Ha!
We'll just sit back and call it like it is. Your home of the World Series. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Welcome back. Round 2 of the Huntsville Championship here at the Ledges. What a day it'll be in store for round 2. What will we have in store? Will our leaders stay the same or will they move under? 7 under is how we finished at round 1 of the Huntsville Championship. We can tell you right now that Zach Fisher and Harrison Endicott, both on the course right now, both kind of going in different directions. And when I say that, I don't mean because of their scores. I mean because of the way they are playing. Zach Fisher teed off on number 1 a few minutes ago, and Harrison Endicott teed off on number 10. So both of them are on the course, but both of them starting in completely different directions. One starting on the back 9, one starting on the front 9. And right now, both of them are at the same score as well. And Zach Fisher at 8 under, Harrison Endicott at 8 under. So both of them heading in the right direction as far as scores go, but both of them heading in completely different directions on the course. One starting on the back 9 and one starting on the front 9. So that is how we bring you back here. It is 8:30 on a Friday morning. Don't forget, tomorrow Drew and I will be at University Kia from 9 to 11 as we have a special Saturday show for you. We'll keep you up to date on everything going on here at the Huntsville Championship, as well as what is going on the SEC base path as well. Plenty of good baseball going on tonight. Plenty of baseball played last night in the SEC. 2 baseball games on the diamond last night. Alabama and South Carolina, Texas A&M, and I believe Vanderbilt was on the diamond last night as well. Alabama falls to South Carolina 6-5. Texas A&M gets by Vanderbilt 5-1.
Yep, Alabama missed an opportunity again. Lost another 1-run game. They dug a 5-0 hole. Garrett Mcmillan battled for 6 2/3 innings. He threw a career high, I think it was about 119 pitches last night, so he got him nearly through 7 innings. Brock Guffey was the only other arm used. And Alabama actually, with 2 outs in the top of the 9th, came back to tie it with a Drew Williamson 2-run single. They beat the throw to the plate, but Drew was then thrown out trying to steal, and so that ended the threat in the 9th. Then South Carolina was able to scratch a run home on a bloop single. To some tough luck for Alabama, but again, they missed a couple of opportunities. They had a 2nd and 3rd situation with nobody out earlier in the game. Did not do a good job of situational hitting, which has been an issue all year. Did not score. And then also early in the game, they booted a double play ball, which would have gotten them out of an inning, which led to a 3-run homer for South Carolina to go from 2-0 to 5-0. And so Alabama battled their butts off last night, and you heard that game on 97.7 The Zone, but they could not quite get over the hump, never led in the game, and the Gamecocks win 6-5. So it's put Alabama against the 8 ball a little bit. They need to win this series because they have 3 straight really good teams. They got LSU at home, Auburn on the road, and then Arkansas at home. They need to win 2 out of 3 in this series, but now they need Jacob McNary to pitch well tonight. It's another 6 o'clock first pitch, 5:55 airtime on the Crimson Tide Sports Network here on 97.7 The Zone. And then an 11 a.m. early first pitch on Saturday morning on SEC Network. They really need to get these 2 W's because, again, they're trying to, go 6-6 in their last 12 SEC games to get to 15-15, and I think you'd feel pretty good about getting to Hoover for the SEC tournament and getting into a regional. But again, this is a South Carolina team that going to struggle to get to postseason. They're a 500 ball club, and so Alabama making those couple of mistakes last night to lose a heartbreaker 6-5. It puts your backs against the wall. They're going to need to come through the next couple of games.
All right, so the rest of your SEC schedule looks like this tonight. You got Florida playing host to Kentucky, and then 19th-ranked Auburn going to travel to top-ranked Tennessee. Auburn had only won 10 SEC games a year ago, and if you look at the Tigers right now, they are nipping at the heels of Arkansas. Arkansas 12-6, Auburn 11-7. Best case scenario is you go up there and get a game at least from Tennessee. I guess unbelievable scenario is if you could win the series against Tennessee, which nobody has been able to do all season in the SEC play.
And they've only lost 1 game all year in the SEC, and it was 1 game in their ballpark to Alabama on a Friday night. So this Tennessee team has just been unbelievable. They have been the best road team in the country, but Auburn gets a big-time chance to make a statement this weekend and continue to climb up the standings in the SEC West. They've been a really hot ball club, but Tennessee has been kind of the juggernaut no one's been able to solve. So this is going to be probably the best series of the weekend with Butch Thompson's group. If Butch Thompson's team can win this series, I think they're really in big-time contention for a regional host. I think that's what that'll prove. Now, if they drop this series, no big deal. I still think they're really in solid position for a regional and to get to Hoover. But this would move them up a class if they could win this series.
And they are nipping it. So if you're able to nip it, you stay pace with Arkansas. Arkansas this weekend has Ole Miss at home. LSU and Georgia, that is the other ranked matchup in the SEC this week. 22nd ranked LSU, 14th ranked Georgia. And then Missouri, Mississippi State, South Carolina, Alabama. We mentioned Vanderbilt and Texas A&M. Vanderbilt is at home. They dropped last night's game to Texas A&M, and if you look at the Commodores, not a traditional season for Vanderbilt. They are below 500 in conference play, 28-12 overall, just 9-10 in league play. Is Vanderbilt this season?
Yeah, and they've struggled a little bit offensively and struggled with the bats. Their pitching has been pretty good, but they've lost a lot of star power the last couple of years on the mound, and so when you lose Kumar Rocker, who's as good as anybody in the country, and Jack Leiter, those are 1-2 punches that their 1-2 punch was first-round picks. That's difficult. I still think Vanderbilt is probably going to be hard to deal with on the back end of the season, especially going into regional play. I still think they've got a decent chance to host as well. But Tim Corbin's such a great coach. They still, I think, are in very solid position overall, and so they're going to be a team to watch. Arkansas as well. I do think Tennessee is by far the best team in the SEC, but I think you've got a bunch of really, really good teams. Texas A&M's hot right now as well, 11-8 now in Schlossnagel's first year coming over from TCU. Alabama was fortunate to get them early and get 2 out of 3 in Tuscaloosa because A&M is playing a lot better now.
All right, so that is your SEC baseball preview as we get ready for another weekend of conference baseball action. Time is dwindling down in the SEC play after this weekend. Just 3 more series left on the diamond. All right, so it is round 2 of the NFL draft coming up tonight. We were just told that 4 quarterbacks possibly could go off the board tonight. You look at the round 2 picks and you look out of the gates. Okay, you can pretty much say this team or that team may or may not draft a quarterback. Tampa Bay comes up first in the first pick in the second round. Tampa Bay's probably not going to take a quarterback in round 2. The Atlanta Falcons presumably could take a quarterback in round 2. If you're in the war room and the Falcons are indeed, let's say, thinking about taking a quarterback with the 11th pick in the second round, the 43rd pick overall. Is there a quarterback that the Falcons, or they have the 26th pick, the 58th overall pick in the second round? Falcons have 2 picks in round number 2. So would you take a Matt Corral, a Sam Howell, a Desmond Ryder, or a Malik Willis in round 2 if you are the Atlanta Falcons?
Well, I wasn't that impressed with Ritter against Alabama. I mean, I didn't think he looked like a big-time prospect to me. I like Matt Corral. I think he can play. I think he has a lot of upside, mobility, arm. I think if I were the Falcons, I would look at him. I've never been sold on Malik Willis. Willis has the best arm and probably mobility. But from the neck up, can he read defenses? He played at Liberty. He didn't play against great competition. But just because you didn't, we've still seen great quarterbacks come from small schools.
Right.
I mean, we'll see if that's the case with Malik. But, Matt Corral went through the SEC, went through the fire. If I were the Atlanta Falcons, I would probably, if I was going to take a quarterback in round 2, it would be him. Because a lot of people thought that both Matt Corral and Malik Willis would be first-rounders. There wasn't as much buzz. There was a little bit of buzz on Desmond Ritter, but I didn't buy it. And then really none on Sam Howell. Sam Howell did not have the kind of year everybody anticipated at North Carolina. Some of that wasn't his fault as more supporting cast, but still, if I'm the Atlanta Falcons and I want to take a quarterback, I'm taking the SEC guy, and I'm taking Matt Corral.
And then obviously, would that be the quarterback? That would obviously be your quarterback of the future to replace.
Well, potentially, but again, if the season went horrifically bad, and it could for the Falcons,
right?
And if Matt Corral doesn't prove himself beyond a shadow of a doubt, what you could do is you could keep him as a developmental guy. But then if you, for example, if you get the first pick or the second pick and you can get a Bryce Young, then you're going to do that. And then Corral might be traded, or again, you just have 2 young quarterbacks like when the Washington Commanders, and I can't believe I'm having to say that, when they drafted Robert Griffin III and Kirk Cousins in the same draft. I mean, and then they thought Robert Griffin III was going to be the franchise guy, but then by the 3rd year, he was continuing to get hurt and wasn't progressing. And Cousins got his chance and took it and ran with it. So
Right.
to me, you could invest a 2nd-round pick in Matt Corral, and then if you get the first pick overall or the 2nd pick, and you can get a Bryce Young, you're still going to do that because again, quarterbacks get injured, and if Matt Corral turns into a good prospect, if he proves himself a little bit in opportunities, say if a Bryce Young was injured, or if he's just one of those things where during this year, for example, this next season, if Corral shows a little bit of promise, you could use that as a trade chip. So, or even trade the number 1 overall pick for a boon of a bounty. But
Right.
again, I think it's a worthy gamble.
256-576-4977. That is the number 2, the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. We want to hear from you on a Friday morning as we come to you live from round 2 of the Huntsville Championship, part of the Corn Ferry Tour. And your leaders still sit at 8 under here at the Ledges. And it's still going to be Zach Fisher and Harrison Endicott leading at 8 under.
Well, and it's become a rite of passage here at Falcon Crest. We get hit with the sign because the wind blew it over. So we know that just shows us right now that the wind is still whipping.
Yeah, you can look at the trees. You can look at the little flags and banners around here. If you're headed up here to the Ledges, it's almost like you got to bring 2 different sets of apparel.
Yeah,
you got to bring the pants and the jacket to get through to the morning. And then once that sun comes out later this afternoon, you can be in the shorts and possibly the jacket because I'll tell you what, it is a little – I think it is more wind. It is more breezier up here today. Is breezier a word? If not, we just invented
the breeze is a even bigger factor this morning. And now it blew over the other way. So now it is completely blown over twice. So our sign is down, no doubt about it. But again, just remember as you're making the scenic drive up and winding around up the mountain, play the horns. That's all I'm saying. Just cue it up. You got a Bluetooth. Bring up YouTube. Blare you some Falcon Crest, and you're on your way.
256-576-4977. As we started the show, we had a call this morning that wanted to know if we had seen the situation going on with Miami basketball. And for those that don't know, here in hour number 2, we'll bring this up as well. There is a basketball guard. His name is Isaiah Wong. He's going to put his name in the transfer portal today if he does not get greater compensation from his name, image, and likeness deal. This according to his agent. Mm-hmm. One of the first times that we have seen this. Now, we did see it with a guy out of Florida State who put his name in the transfer portal on the football side because he didn't feel like he was getting fair compensation for his
the fact
deal.
He didn't make any plays.
Yeah, and that was the thing. His NIL deal was based on productivity. He did not live up to that productivity, so thus he didn't get the money or the financial compensation. This is a completely different one because this one here is not the fact that he didn't get the money. He wants more money. So is this going to be an anomaly in college sports where we're going to see an individual do this? Maybe, we talked a lot about, when all these little things happen, it's not going to be that much of a big deal. It's not going to affect a lot of things, and sometimes they're right. Is this going to be an isolated situation where you're maybe only going to see a handful of guys do this, maybe at programs that aren't playing for a national championship, like guys sitting out bowl games? Or is this going to become a common occurrence now in college athletics where, and I dare say it, and I'm just going to use him as an example, it will not happen, but let's say a Bryce Young or someone at the Forerunner or a C.J. Stroud at Ohio State, Heisman Trophy candidates, high-profile guys, feel like they need more money and they're going to hold out until the start of camp until they get their money.
No, we'll never see that because those guys, the C.J. Strouds, Bryce Youngs, are always going to make the big bucks.
Right.
There's no need for them to sit out.
But what if they feel like they need more?
They're not.
Okay.
They're because they know they're going to get paid. They're getting paid in college. They're going to get paid in the NFL draft. It's going to be the fringe guys. This Isaiah Wong, the reason he wants more money is because he's he's barely an NBA prospect. Or he would be in the NBA draft. That's the reason he wants more money because he's not going to get it on the back end.
That's what I'm wondering. Are these going to be guys that are borderline guys?
You'll be some borderline guys that'll probably do that. But again, it's going to until they regulate it, and then when Congress regulates it, then you won't see it anymore. So these kids better take full advantage of it and enjoy it because the gravy train's fixing to stop within a year or two. So you better take full advantage of what you got now, and I guess that's what this kid's trying to do. I think it's a bad look. I think he needs to be worried more about improving himself and playing with his team. And it's not like he's not getting compensated. I mean, give me a break.
Right.
It sounds like he's already jealous of a new teammate making more money instead of improving his own dang game. But again, that's where we are right now, and it's until Congress regulates it. That's what you're going to see a little bit of that.
All right, 256-576-4977. That is the number to said Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Let's get that final break in because tomorrow's headlines today will be local. We've got some local headlines to get to when we return.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
We're beginning to get into last-minute dash mode. Looks like we're going to have a lot of people running at the last minute this morning. You be careful on your trip in. Accident-wise, right now we're looking good. We do have Huntsville Utilities working on Maston Lake between Avondale and Adair. They're going to have traffic reduced there because of service work. And we've got Panoply downtown to watch out for. A lot of the streets are blocked off. No hoses, no mask. You could ask Dr. Sandman, that's Dr. Sandlin, for the medically proven benefits of the Somnodent for sleep apnea and for snoring. Dr. Sandlin, 350-CARE. Captain Nick in the North Parkway, Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
The world champions are back, and you can only hear them right here. Braves baseball is rolling, and Atlanta's ready for a huge 2022 season.
Swung on and struck out towards deep right field, rising through the sky, back to the wall, bombs away.
Tonight, the Braves roll out for a big road trip to Arlington as Snit and the Braves take on the American League West Texas Rangers. Braves radio's on the air at 6:50 Eastern, 5:50 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
If you need a car, McCurry Motors is ready to put you in a quality vehicle, and in-house financing is available. If you have a job, McCurry Motors will work with you even if you have a bankruptcy, divorce, or bad credit. Visit McCurrySaysYes.com. Every car comes with a warranty, and they report to the credit bureau. With 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens, call 256-230-0232, or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville. Call 256-713-0575.
Sportsmed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust Sportsmed, you can too. Sportsmed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
DQ presents. Picture this. You stand before the awe-inspiring new signature stack burger menu at DQ and your mouth wonders, where have you been all my life? That's 5 taste bud tempting cheeseburgers with 100% real seasoned beef. You peek at the loaded A1 stack burger with 2 premium sauces. Then the flamethrower stack burger with tongue-tingling jalapeno bacon. Then you realize moments like these are exactly why we have the DQ signature stack burger menu. DQ. Happy tastes good. Get it delivered at DQ.com.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of no knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
What's better than Valley Equipment Rental? 2 Valley Equipment Rentals, and that's just what we have now. The original on the South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road, and their second location on North Memorial Parkway just north of Winchester Road. Valley Equipment is locally owned and has more skid steers, excavators, and lifts than anyone in the area, plus all the small tools that you need to get the job done like a pro. And if you are a pro, you need to check out the new North location now because Valley Equipment has what you need. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
Our latest zone deal is upon us. Log on to 977ESPN.com for Gunner's Landing. 2 rounds of golf for the price of 1, including a cart. Gunner's Landing is one of the Tennessee Valley's finest golf experiences. Just 35 minutes from downtown Huntsville, Gunner's Landing's 18-hole championship jewel is open to the public 7 days a week. Gunner's Landing offers you a golf experience like no other. Log on now, 977ESPN.com.
This segment of Talkin Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back, Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. As we wrap up our coverage here of the Huntsville Championship at the Ledges. But your morning's headlines. We go local, really local, and there'll be a new basketball coach at Madison Academy.
Yes, there will. And this rumor had been out there strongly that this could happen, following the year. His son, Drew Blackson, outstanding player, finished his high school career this year at Madison Academy. He has signed with Trevecca Nazarene that's based in the city of Nashville, and Andy Blackston, who for the last, I believe, 16 years has been the basketball coach at the Madison Academy Mustangs. In Final Fours, I believe, won 5 state title, Hall of Fame coach, and an even better person. I mean, one of the greatest men I've ever had the privilege of covering and having a relationship with. He's been on this show many, many times. Great friend in 97.7 The Zone. Hate to see him leave our community, but he got an outstanding opportunity to go take the head coaching job at Brentwood Academy over in Nashville, a prominent private school. He is making that move, and unfortunately will not be back at the helm of the Mustangs. And as you know, we are the home of the Madison Academy Athletics here at 97.7 The Zone. We've put several of his basketball games on the air. He's helped us out with UAH basketball as well. A great friend of Lenny Aika, former assistant for him, former women's basketball coach there, and at Austin P on the college level before bringing his young family here and raising them in the Rocket City and in Madison County. And we just hate to see him go, but it's a great opportunity for him. But certainly we're going to miss Andy Blackston, who brought so much to enhance basketball in our community and as a person of faith, and just a great man, and we're going to miss him.
All right, so that's really your big local headline. Round 2 of the Alabama High School State Athletic Association baseball playoffs continues tonight as well. You got round 2 through Class 1A and 6A, and I believe tonight starts 7A as well, right?
Yes.
So the state baseball playoffs underway again today, so we'll be keeping an eye on those. We'll talk some high school baseball tomorrow, as we will be live from University Kia from 9 to 11. University Kia, the largest volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. And then going on, also, if you're driving along Airport Road, don't forget you got the CCSA and Conference USA Beach Volleyball Championships going on as well. So a lot of things happening around this little area. And, of course, the big thing, though, is the Huntsville Championship here at the Korn Ferry Tour, here at the Ledges. Round 2 well underway. Play is underway. We have just enjoyed a beautiful day. Now, the breeze is still going, but the clouds are kind of parting up here. The sun is shining, and a lot of more people are starting to find their way up here to the course. And remember, we talked to Penn Garvich yesterday. He said around 6,000 fans made their way last year through the 4 days, and the weather was not as good as what it was this year so far. So we could see more people up here on the course.
We could, especially today and tomorrow when the weather looks really good. We'll see on Sunday. It could be spotty. But as Rob Clark told us today, the head golf pro here at the Ledges, they're already making contingency plans for that, whether they play more golf on Saturday or potentially even have a Monday situation where they complete the golf tournament, because the next stop is in Nashville,
right,
only an hour and a half down the road. Then the next stop following that is Knoxville, Tennessee. So they're both, short travel situations. The travel expenses won't be quite as much. So that gives them some versatility and some flexibility to be able to finish the tournament. But it's beautiful weather here right now. A little bit of wind. It's a little chilly. But as you said, Scott, as you're on your way up here to Falcon Crest, just bring 2 sets of clothes, and then you might end up asleep in a chair.
All right, the other big headline, really, last year a lot of Major League Baseball so-called experts were saying, oh, my goodness, Kyle Wright could be a first-round bust. Not anymore. Kyle Wright has been an anchor for that Braves starting rotation so after a last night start. Again, wow is what you can say about Kyle Wright right now.
Yeah, he's been tremendous. They win the game. The Braves 5-1. Kyle Wright 1.13 ERA. I believe he's 3-0 now on the year. So what a start for him. So proud of that young man. Buckhorn High School graduate, went to pitch for Tim Corbin at Vanderbilt, first-round draft choice. John Smoltz was right, and looks like he's going to be correct. He said, do not trade Kyle Wright. He's going to be a big-time pitcher, and sometimes it takes a 2 or 3 years for these guys to figure it out on the major league level. That's how difficult it is. But him pitching and then having the return of Ronald Acuna Jr., who got a hit last night, who was back in the top of the lineup, and helped the Braves win the series against the Cubs and take it 5-1 to take 2 out of 3.
So Ronald Acuna Jr. was asked after the game last night when he got the call from Alex Anthopoulos how excited he was that he was coming back up. He said he had to pause Call of Duty because he was sitting at home playing Call of Duty when Alex Anthopoulos called him and told him that he was getting put back up onto the majors and that he would be playing on Thursday. So he was like, oh, yeah, I had to pause the game, stop the game, and I was excited.
Well, we'll have Crimson Tide Sports Network tonight, more Alabama baseball. There will not be a drive, but we'll have baseball. And again, we're going to be going to be with Chad Wathy from 10 to noon, and more great action today at the Ledges.
All right, guys, it's round 2 of the Huntsville Championship. We'll be at University Key tomorrow morning from 9 to 11. Download the app today so you can hear us tomorrow.
No representation is made of the quality of legal